All right, welcome in to Vision Pros Live. With Jackson Callum, I'm your show host. We will be doing interviews for visionary entrepreneurs and guest leaders who are building fantastic visions out there. What's up, Vision Pros, and welcome into a cold episode of Vision Pros Live. I'm down here in Ecuador, and I should probably put some gloves on, but then I can't type very well. Anyway, point being, I've got Sebastian Uzcategui. Let's not forget this, my friends. Let's all do this together. Sebastian Uzcategui on stage today, 23 or 24 years old, already a crushing entrepreneur. He's crushing as an entrepreneur, as a speaker. And I got to see that firsthand. I was like, dang, you don't meet many people this age who articulate their stories this well. And it is one of the greatest gifts you can have as a visionary. Is how do I clearly articulate my vision? How do I help people understand what I'm up to and want to belong to what it is that we have going on? So before I bring him back on stage and we talk deeply about this opportunity of speaking and the pros and cons of doing so and the need to really get out there if we've got a vision that we want to scale, I also want to highlight some other assets and resources that we have here. Journey to Wellness with Dr. Shannon and Dr. Justin Pierce. This is a power couple who are both doctors. I've known them for many years. It's exciting to be working with them. They've launched a product line for Dr. Shannon's supplements. She is one of the most rare doctors that I've ever met in forms of holistic practitioners and understand how to overcome things like Crohn's disease. I've sent several people to her over the years, and every single person I've sent to her was in a condition that other doctors couldn't treat. And every single one of them came back to me and said, oh my gosh, Shannon has changed my life. So I don't really understand all the mumbo jumbo of how it works, but I do know what it looks like when I see my friends or family members transform. And everybody that I talk to that has a health problem, I'm like, go talk to Shannon, you got to talk to Shannon. So if you have a health problem, I hope that helps you too. Next to that, we've got Practice Makes Permanent with Jennifer Reed. Jennifer Reed is a specialist in EQ and SQ development, not just emotional intelligence, but also spiritual intelligence. She helps companies transform their cultures. She's got firsthand experience in the bottom of the pit of hell. What do I mean by that? She works for the IRS. She knows what it's like to be in a culture that can struggle, and she knows what it's like to also transform those cultures and help people have a better experience. So she can do that at the IRS. I am quite positive she can do that for your culture as well. I've had a tremendous time getting to know her. She just got back from an amazing sabbatical in Peru as well. And go check out what she's building with Practice Makes Permanent. If you're looking to upgrade your culture, I can tell you one big secret. If you want to have a thriving company with great revenues, culture is a huge piece of making sure that happens. And that's the secondary component, in my opinion, to having a great vision. Then there's the Water Project. The Water Project is something that we just give to monthly in order to support it. I don't have any affiliation with it. I just know that when I found out there was millions of people who don't have access to clean drinking water, I've never been thirsty in my entire life. I've never had to deal with that. And I realized, you know what? If we can give back to an entity that also shows us those projects come to fruition the way that the Water Project does, it's super cool. So my hope is that you will talk about that with your friends and family. Maybe you don't have the financial means to help out, but you never know what will happen if you just talk about it, just tell people about it, just take a look at it and see your friends or family may invest $500 in one of these borehole wells or one of these sand dams. And what that does is it creates a generational impact for hundreds, if not thousands of people. And that could change their education, that could change their livelihood, that could change the ability for those parents to not have to go look for water and instead actually do the work that they need to in order to provide for their family. So I hope you join us on that. And without further ado, back to helping all of you on your visions and making sure that you know how to speak well on stage. Sebastian, thank you for joining me on Vision Pros Live, man.
Absolutely, man. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, it's an honor for me to have you because again, I could tell that when I was 24, I couldn't do what you do. And I was scared to do it. And so I would sometimes do like a half-hearted episode on like Facebook Live or something, but to actually be leading the way you are already is pretty cool, man. So what are some of the directions that you want to go with just teaching our audience? I don't normally do this. We normally talk vision, but teaching our audience about getting on stages, preparing for it, myth busting. Where do we start?
Well, that's a really good question. And I appreciate you giving me, as someone who teaches people how to do this, the opportunity to do that exact thing for your audience. So there's really three big things that I need to really make clear to everyone who is looking to either improve their speaking, improve their confidence, or improve the articulation internally for their own ideas. First, and this is really the whole foundation of being a speaker, I know you know this, but I need everyone to know this. You need to believe your own message. You need to really find something that you're passionate about. And the best way to find that is by asking yourself, what do you want to change in the world? It can be anything. But just from that one idea to yourself, you begin to open so many doors. So believe in your message first and foremost. Secondly, believe that your audience needs to hear that message. You will never get on stage and feel like an imposter or feel nervous if you think that you're doing this for a greater purpose, not for yourself. There are two very different kinds of speakers: those who are doing it for themselves, for profit, for monetization, and those who are doing it for a deeper purpose. And you can hear the purpose in those speakers. You can always hear the passion behind them. And lastly, the third thing that you have to do, and this is where, again, this is another huge source of confidence, is you need to believe that you're the only person that can preach that message. No one else can be you for you. Only you can do that. Only you have your voice. Only you have your message. And if you truly believe those three things, you will always head towards naturally becoming a better speaker. Those are the three first and foremost things I teach all my speakers.
I almost hated your third bullet point. I
Wow.
was this close to being like, that is so pretentious. I
Mhm.
was so close to judging that well, let me be fair. I judged it prematurely. Then you finished it, and I was
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, you just unlocked a whole new level of humility. And humility's original definition from, over 1,000 years ago was a full appreciation for oneself and for everything else. And so at
Mhm.
first I thought you were going to say, like, you need to believe you're the only one, like that is only you have this thing or can. But then as you started to tie that to the reality that I really am the only version of me who can
Right.
communicate that, and I'm the only one who's in my present moment
Exactly
who's
right.
designed to do just that. And so that does give a new level of power so I want to recap that. Believe your own message. And I
Mhm.
love the question you use. I mean, this is stuff I've studied for like 20 years. So like even into my teen years, I was looking at this, and I've got a program called Passion Pro. Can I borrow that question, Sebastian? Can I
Do
use
it.
that?
Do it.
Brother, I appreciate
Absolutely.
that. I'll give you credit on that because that's huge. Because I ask a bunch of questions to get people there, but that's one question I don't have on that form that I'm
Mhm.
like, that is such a powerful universal truth of what do you want to change in the world? And then you need to believe that you're the only one who can deliver your job, your
Right.
responsibility. It's like the accountability of our own role. That's phenomenal, man. Keep going.
Mhm. Yeah,
I'm
well, I
going
want
to
to
ask you
elaborate
a
on that.
question. Just keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, and so first, I appreciate you being clear on that because I do want to make that distinction, right? There's always other people that can do different things, right? But you're the only one in your own life that can take action. You can't take action for someone else. You can't make someone else move that thing that you want to change in the world. You're only responsible for what you can say at that very moment. And in a lot of situations, right? The reason why speaking is so lucrative, not just because, yeah, people get paid to speak, but also everyone is looking for speakers, is simply because there's no one in that very room at that very moment who can do what you can do, especially as a speaker. And so here's another question that you might really like to ask your people in purpose pros. I think you called that right.
Yeah. Passion pros,
Passion
but
pros. Yeah.
purpose pros is perfectly aligned.
Right. Same vision. So here's another question that I ask all my speakers when they're starting off, right? And I do this really to weed out who is ready to just jump right in and who still needs some help. What makes you revolutionary? And that is a question that people really run away from because, I mean, unless you have like some crazy story to your life, you can answer that. Not at first. And then what I follow with that is walking them through to discover the fact that they are revolutionary. They do have ideas that can change the world.
Yep.
Sometimes it's not even about having the craziest idea. It's about having the best articulation or framing. Do you read philosophy a lot?
I would say so.
Yeah,
Jordan Peterson, I don't read, but I
great
watch a
speaker.
lot.
Yeah. Great speaker.
Charisma
Quick
on
question.
Command, too. Phenomenal
Mhm.
YouTube channel on this type of subject.
Yeah. Have you ever read like the Greeks like or the Romans like Seneca, for example? You ever read into that?
A
Yeah.
little bit. I mean, I do a lot of study. I'm a
Mhm.
learner, so I don't want to like overhype and be like, yeah, I'm a doctor of philosophy, but
I've got a bunch of
I hear
these
you.
books. I've got one right here. And what I love about Seneca in particular is one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, right? But if you actually look at like his documentation and history, he was not a very different philosopher. He didn't have much different ideology. He didn't actually even embody much of that. It's actually kind of controversial because he didn't really live what he preached. But he's in history and he's famous and he changed the world and spread this idea of Stoicism. What made him famous was not how revolutionary his idea was, but how revolutionary his articulation was. People, his contemporaries hated him because he wrote in a way that the common man and woman could read, no matter what their level was. They didn't have to be nobles or anything like that. Everyone could access his teachings. And that's why I tell my speakers, you may not have like the next Tesla idea. You don't need it. If you have the right articulation, you can make any purpose, even if it's something common, extraordinary and put it at the forefront of the world stage and get action taken. That is your job as a
See,
speaker.
this is huge because I'm actually going to double down what you said about Tesla. Tesla didn't create, it's a freaking car.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't revolutionary either in essence, but the story and the buildup and the process was. And so it has a lot to do with, again, it's not the best pill that wins typically.
Mhm.
It's the best marketing. And the
Mhm.
marketing has a lot to do with the voice, behind it. What are we telling people about things? So Socrates also wasn't well liked during his time
No.
period by a lot of people.
You know what's crazy? I wish I could show you. I have a painting right here in my room. I love him so much of when he died, of when he was executed with the hemlock. I love
Mm,
philosophy, man. And you're right, he
yeah.
wasn't very well loved.
Well, and that's another thing for us as speakers to remember too is like there's Taylor Welch is the person I heard say this, and he said, if you want to be well liked by everybody, you're not going to be successful.
You're
That's
not.
not going to happen. Look at Jesus. You got half the people who loved him and half the people who hated him or more. Like Martin Luther
Mhm.
King, there's a side that loved him, there's a side that hated him, and so if you want to be liked, you're only thinking of yourself, and that's a selfish process. But if you
Exactly.
want to make a difference, then you don't have to try to be controversial. Whatever idea, whatever value you're already giving to the world,
Mhm.
there's enough people out there who are going to hate on it and be like, no, I don't want
Yeah.
that. But the people who need you, they're going to be so grateful that you spoke up. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, actually, you sparked a couple of thoughts. I don't know where I heard this quote, unfortunately. It's not mine. I won't take credit for it, but I love it. It says, if you're going to change the world, don't ask for permission.
Mm,
It's as simple as that, right? Success by nature is polarizing, and polarization means a lot of people are going to hate you, a lot of people are going to love you, and that is the best metric to know if you're making it, right? I
yep.
think just like you talked about Socrates, he was not a well-beloved person, but his philosophy, people don't realize this, but that is what all the ideology in the Western world is based off of. That is what everything comes from. Plato's Republic, another book that I literally have right
Yep.
here. Um, this is what all of the Western world today is based off of. And this book, his writings are older than Jesus Christ. This goes
Yep.
BC times, right? And so it's incredible. Again, this is also at the same time where rhetoric was becoming a thing. This is also the roots of speaking as a whole for humanity, because people began to become privy to how much change a single person can do, which is virtually nothing, relative to how much change gets done for a leader. And all speakers are leaders and all leaders are speakers. There's no exemption to that rule, not a single one, because we can't do
I love
almost
this.
anything by ourselves, right?
Huge. Sebastian, so who are some of your greatest mentors? You've obviously, you're well read, you're well studied. These are obviously mentors, even though they're from the past. But who else? Who modernly has helped you unlock so much knowledge and wisdom?
Hmm. Well, that's a good question. I would definitely say not so much. My unlocking of knowledge came a lot from just reading and my own personal experiences. But my greatest mentors in articulation have been definitely in my church, for example. Every
Mm,
pastor that I've had in my church or every church leader, I think the church is one of the greatest master classes in speaking that you can ever see. The amount of passion, the amount of flow, the amount of natural articulation that comes with every single thing that comes out of some of those pastors' mouths. It's incredible. Even if you're not a religious, it's just a masterclass in speaking. Those have definitely been
true.
some of my greatest teachings, hands down.
That's really interesting, and for sure, I have to back that up. And it's funny, we both come from different church backgrounds. I can tell
Mhm.
that, because the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter Day Saints, where I go, there's a lot of reverence. involved. And there's a lot of structure in how it's delivered. And so people coming in that aren't familiar with the way the culture works find it very boring. And it's like, well, why don't we liven this up? Why
Right.
don't we put a
I
band
come
in?
from a Catholic background.
I
That
get
tends to
that.
be.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right. And so there's that side too. But the more exposure I've gotten to different types of religions and different types of environments like that, the more it's unlocked my ability to change my radio station, if you will, of how I influence and how I go about it, which also helps, given that I speak in Spanish sometimes too, and I speak sometimes in English. There's different abilities and opportunities to lead in different areas. So Vision Pros, don't feel like you have to be boxed in on all this. Now let's tackle one of those big questions. Okay, I want to speak. I have the opportunity to go to conferences. They're going to put me on stage, but man, they're not going to pay me for this. Right. There's so many people out there who have this mindset of like, if I'm not getting paid, maybe it's not worth it. And I don't know, the audience, is the audience big enough? What do the vanity metrics look like? How many downloads do you have, etc. What are your thoughts on that? We might battle this out a little bit, but I have a feeling we might be aligned too. Go ahead, Sebastian.
Yeah, no. If we debate, I would love that. I love where things are genuine. I love that. But you know what I'll tell you? I was on a summit literally yesterday, and I got asked, if I'm a new speaker and I'm looking to whether to grow my career or scale it, should I be selective about the places that I go speak? And I said, absolutely not. First of all, you don't even have and this isn't to sound like, condescending, but you need to build a portfolio. First of all, you need to build credibility and place that you've been on. First of all, secondly, even if you're speaking in front of 10 people in the world's most garbage flop of an event, you're getting practice live. There's no amount of speaking coaching that can replicate what it is to suddenly speak in front of a bunch of people. No nerves can ever, or no expectation can ever prepare you for that. Sometimes when I'm coaching some of my speakers, I'll have them here on the Zoom, like on my phone. I'm like, hey, what's up? I turn the camera a little bit, and there's like 10 of my friends or 10 people that I know that are there to listen to them as a surprise, to prepare them for that kind of nerves, because you can't get that anywhere else. So I would tell people, no, don't be selective at all. Go speak. It's always worth it. You have to realize that even if you're just brute forcing, you're stumbling, you're stuttering, you're failing, but you're speaking in front of people, you're developing the single most valuable skill of all humanity through all of history. And that's never going to change. It's worth it every day of the week.
That's fantastic. And Gary Vaynerchuk is one of my favorite examples
of
that.
That was my first.
He's just constantly talking to people. Right. He doesn't care if there's an audience. He doesn't care if it's one person. There's a scripture I'm a big fan of that talks about the worth of one's soul being so great. And so again, back to that humility aspect, it really doesn't matter if we're speaking in front of 100 million people or one person. There is value in that opportunity. I will say that I didn't say that 100 million souls don't matter. Like, of course, if you can be in front of more people, fantastic. And to Sebastian's point, if you don't have a portfolio, it's going to be a reflection of the performance or the lack of performance that you have when you get in those opportunities. So I encourage my clients, don't apply for Oprah right away. Like, don't try to go on there. And here's a big reason why. If you're a business owner as a visionary trying to expand, you're going to get on Oprah tomorrow. You're going to speak, and you're going to have at least 10,000 phone calls. Who's going to answer the phones? Nobody.
You're not there yet, right? Preparation and opportunity are not meeting.
You just hurt everybody. You just hurt Oprah's reputation. And by the way, that's why she's not going to put you on stage. Right? She knows, and the bigger speakers know, don't bring people on stage that do not have infrastructure behind them in order to be able to serve that audience. So build what you need to build in order to have that influence. What can you speak to in regards to that, Sebastian?
Yeah, so there's a quote that I like. It says that luck doesn't exist. It's just opportunity meeting preparation, right? And so that's something a lot of speakers don't realize is, you have to build your way up to be able to capitalize on those paid stages or on those massive stages. Early on in your career, and you got to speak, you're not going to see like the world shift around you. But you're preparing yourself to capitalize off those moments when they do come. So whenever you do get a big stage, guess what? Those hosts are actually going to be looking for you because they say, well, this is his talent in speaking. He's spoken here, and there before. So I can actually trust the speaker. That's what they're looking for, right? Every single person that hosts event or organize events, they're looking for people that they can trust to deliver something powerful enough to improve their reputation. It's the truth. Everyone is really just looking to see Well, if I vouch for you, can your talk and your speak deliver onto my audience the kind of quality that I want to attach my name to and my brand to, right? You're
Absolutely.
always an ambassador. And even when you're
Always.
speaking, you're an ambassador to yourself in the minds of your audience. I would
Huge.
definitely agree with that. I
I
would
love
say,
that.
yeah, you gotta prepare, you gotta build your way
We've
up.
had more than 2,000 episodes for Vision Pros Live. I
Congrats.
have never once done what I'm about to do without pre-prepared, like without knowing in advance I wanted to do this. This goes towards just honoring what you've done, Sebastian, what you've been able to bring to the
Thank you.
table today. What in the world is your offer?
What
How
in
do
the
we
world
work
is
with
my
you? How
offer?
do we work with you? Yeah.
That's a really good question. For every single one of my speakers, it's always going to be different, but at its core, it's two things. Number one, refining and training their voice to be as powerful as possible. This directly ties to conversion rates everywhere that you go. Sometimes just speaking 20% better will make you close an entire room, and speaking 20% less is going to make you lose every single person there. That's just the rule of it all. So I help refine voices, but I also want to send people out to the right stages. So I want to tailor them. I never say, because you said this yourself, there's a lot of agencies that want to pretend that they can guarantee paid events. No, you got to build your way up first. And then I can connect you to event organizers that may be open to doing that. But my priority is on tailoring the events that we're looking for to your exact niche so you can start working your way up. I'm focused on elevation, not just pretending that I'm going to get you from 0 to 100, right? Wherever you are, we're going to find the events that you're in or that you've been on, or if you haven't been on any, get you on some. Look for something just a little bit out of your league, maybe
Yep.
get you there. That's elevation. A lot of speakers get stuck just speaking in circles, but you're never elevating, right? That's the benefit of an agency like mine. So those are the two things that I do: refine voices
That's
and put them out.
that's fantastic. What's your agency name?
Speak Up Express.
Speak Up Express. You guys heard it here on Vision Pros Live. I am definitely going to be contacting you, Sebastian. I'm very, very excited about what you can do for me, for our brands, for Journey to Wellness, Practice Makes Permanent, Dr. Danny Russell. Like there's so many different opportunities that exist. So well done preparing yourself, getting this out there. Vision Pros, those of you listening in, again, one of the benefits of our stage is you don't have to be a world-class speaker and a world-class speaker trainer like Sebastian in order to be on our stage. We are a starter stage. We want you to come and try for the first time on Vision Pros Live and talk about it. We want to support you. We want to help you see that, you know what, when you're in the right environment with the right people, it's not a scary process to share that vision. We want to help you find a culture and a place to belong where you can do that time and time again and get better at it. So Sebastian, thanks for building the next rung up and level of that to help us all get out there and get on stages and help the world with recognize, understand, receive, and value the different offers, the different visions that we have. And we will see you guys all on the next episode of Vision Pros Live. Final words, Sebastian, your opportunity. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. You've really honored me here today. I really do appreciate it. I want to close out with one thing that we talked over in our last meeting that, I just thought I wanted everyone to really take this home and remember that you are called to speak. It is your duty to speak. And the world is not divided amongst the rich or poor, the left or right. It's divided amongst those who dare to speak and those who don't, because those who do move the world. So thank you so much. It's been an honor, man.
I love it. Vision Pros, we'll see you next time.
Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a Vision Pro yourself.